Revved Up 906 podcast, a Detroit Pistons podcast, to be exact. And I'm Hudson.
And I'm Ryan.
And before we get into episode number 39, guys, we got a good episode this week. But I want to shout out Grind Clothing Co. because they are our official merch sponsor, and we have bucket hats for sale. I am committed to the bucket hat look today. I'm just going to keep with it so that we have bucket hats like this for sale. We have shoes for sale. You can message us on Instagram in the DMs to get some of your personal info, and the prices range on what kind of sizes your feet are. And so you can rep your favorite Detroit Pistons podcast on your feet. And now we have hats also that look very similar to this. So you can click the link in the video bio or in our YouTube bio and in our video description to get the quick link to our merch. Also, make sure to like and subscribe. If you're new to the channel, smash that subscribe button. And then also, if you are one of our consistent viewers or new to the channel, please hit that like button, because when you hit that like button, our YouTube algorithm pushes us out into more people's For You pages. So please hit that like button. We appreciate you guys for subscribing and just showing us love continuously each and every week. So we appreciate you. Guys, we got a fun episode for you this week, episode number 39. Last week on Saturday, we reacted to fan proposed trades. We are sticking with it and doing a fun series where we react to the fans' tweets. And guys, there are some wild ones here today, but we're gonna start off with a pretty fun one. Somebody proposed on Twitter, if Andre Drummond were available, would you bring him back at the right price? Andre Drummond, would you take him and put him in a Detroit Pistons jersey after being gone for a couple years now?
This year, no. Overall, yes. I love Andre Drummond, and what he was able to do after we shipped him off to Cleveland for a second round pick. How? Because he's more valuable than that.
Yeah.
But still, what he was able to do in Cleveland by developing the three-point shot, and then what he's done with Chicago thus far, like, he's still as good as he was initially when we had him, but also better now because he has ball handling, he has a jump shot. Mm-hmm. Like, he's actually a better overall player now than he used to be, which is saying a lot given the fact that he was already good. Mm-hmm. But with our current roster, like we talked about in the previous episode, there is a logjam at the big position. So would he make sense to come back? No, he would not, because I'm sure he's going to want minutes, and I would want to give him minutes.
But we just can't.
But we can't. There's too many. When you have Isaiah Stewart, Jalen Duren, James Wiseman, Marvin Bagley. I mean, Isaiah Livers gets counted in there somehow. I don't know how, but he does. That's 5. Even Bojan gets counted in there sometimes. So there's 6 bigs right there. So yes, would I want to see him here in the future? Yes. Not right now though, because
not good timing.
No, not good timing.
For me, on our Instagram, you would have saw that I posted a picture of me for a Throwback Thursday with Andre Drummond back when I think I was in 6th grade. So you guys know, as fans and subscribers of the channel, I'm Andre Drummond a guy. But I agree with Ryan. Right now is not the time. We need our young guys to develop. Once we have our for sure, stellar center, like our perennial starter center, more than likely Jalen Duren. Mm-hmm. But once that center is developed, and in like 3 to 4 years, if we lose James Wiseman or we lose Marvin Bagley and Isaiah Stewart, but Jalen Duren's still here and he needs a solid backup, I see bringing in a guy like Andre Drummond. In a couple years, he'll be around 32, 33. I think it'll be good timing for him to get one of those vet contracts, and we're going to be able to get him at a pretty good price. I think then it's perfect timing, because then maybe, like we always thought, we'll get a championship with Andre Drummond. It just won't be in the way we suspected. The way 6th grade Hudson expected Andre Drummond to get a championship.
Yeah, and I will say, the unfortunate thing with this, and what I said earlier, is that I actually do want him with our current team, because you look at what kind of big he is, he would be the perfect vet for a Jalen Duren or a James Wiseman or an Isaiah Stewart. Like, he just would fit that mold in developing these guys.
Mhm.
And that's why I hate this, is because we just have that logjam there that it won't work either way. If that logjam wasn't there, I'd be like, bring him in right now. But he is under contract to put the Bulls right now, so even if that was possible right now, it's impossible.
This next tweet that we found on Twitter from Detroit Pistons community, this one kind of irks me. I'm not gonna lie, it kind of irks me. This is where I might get a little fired up. But a Pistons fan tweeted, if the Detroit Pistons are bad this year, I might break a lifelong rule and start looking for a backup team, with a laughy face emoji. Dude, my heart just kind of skipped a beat, you know? I'm kind of upset about that. My initial reaction is I will never leave the Detroit Pistons, guys. Me and Ryan, or for sure me, I can for sure guarantee I'm going to be 72 years old and I'm going to be bringing you Detroit Pistons content. I'd like to think Ryan is in the same boat. We will always be diehard Pistons fans, and I will, even if the Pistons have a 12-game win season, I'll be right there with you, and just totally depressed, but I'll still be a Pistons fan. Ryan, what's your reaction to this tweet?
So you stopped your age limit at 72. Would you now be a Pistons fan after 72?
I just think I might die at 72. I've always had a thought that's been my number.
Okay. All right.
So you're saying, like, till death do us part, we're Revved Up Boys?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, fair enough.
First off, I do not like bandwagon fans. So that comment immediately is like, dude, shut up. I'm sorry, but it is. But okay, I'll give you an example, right? So I'm not gonna name names, but my uncle.
I'm not gonna call him out, but I'm calling him out.
Yeah, so he obviously born and raised in the state of Michigan, right?
Yeah.
Hates little brother. I mean, obviously we do too.
Michigan State.
But we support Michigan State.
Right.
But go blue. We're better anyways. He loves Michigan. He loves the state of Michigan, but he's not like a Pistons fan. He's not a Tigers fan. He's not a Red Wings fan. He's not a Lions fan. What is he? He's an everything Los Angeles fan. Like, what the heck? How did that happen?
Yeah.
Well, for him, it happened because he liked Magic Johnson. That's why.
Bandwagon.
Although it's a little odd because he's He's from Michigan, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's a Michigan fan, but likes Magic Johnson, who went to Little Brother. It just doesn't add up.
1 plus 1 does not equal 2.
Yeah, this is just me giving him a hard time. So if you're watching this, this is just me taking a jab at you.
And make sure to like the channel.
Yeah, but no, bandwagon fans, no. Let's not have that happen because, like, I know somebody that was a diehard Lions fan, right? We had one bad season. Well, we had numerous bad seasons. But he jumped ship halfway through the season and became a Packers fan. Like, how does that
that
happen?
doesn't work.
That doesn't make sense.
We
at
don't
all.
claim him.
No. But love the guy. But no. But no, bandwagon fans, get out of here.
Yeah, I agree. Let's move on to the next tweet. I just don't want to give that tweet much more time. This next tweet is a little bit more of on a positive note. This Pistons fan tweeted, I actually kind of like that so many people are sleeping on Cade and the Pistons. That rude awakening is going to be fun to watch meeting this upcoming season. Ryan, I don't know if I would necessarily define this upcoming season as a rude awakening, but I think we both like to think the Pistons will be better than they were the prior season. What's your initial reaction to this tweet?
It's kind of one of those tweets where you're like, yeah, I get what they're saying, but yeah, like, I don't know. I think the Pistons obviously going to be a different team than they were this past year. I mean, every team is different than they were the past year.
Yeah.
Like you look at the Warriors who went, 72-9? That's never going to happen again.
Mm-hmm.
They will never do that again. So it just shows you. And even when the Bulls went 72-10 with Michael Jordan, they didn't hit anywhere near that record the next season. So it's like, no team is ever going to be the same. So this comment, you're right, it is going to be a rude awakening because a lot of people have written off the Pistons already. Mm-hmm. But it's also kind of like, yeah, it's there.
It's a hot take.
Yeah.
For me, it's a hot take because since I was 12 years old, I've always tried to predict the Detroit Pistons seasons. I'm always like, well, this year they're going to have last year we predicted what their record was going to be. I was talking in the 26 to 30 wins. Obviously, I was wrong. So I don't know if I would consider it a rude awakening, but I definitely think that a lot of sports commentators at the national level have written off the Detroit Pistons. Do I think the Pistons are going to exceed their expectations? I sure hope so, and I would like to think so. So at least we had some positivity in this tweet. The Pistons community could always use a little bit more positivity.
I will say though, you're not far off with this tweet. I think the Pistons are by far one of the better teams in the NBA. That's a bold take. That should have been on our hot takes episode, honestly. But they are. When you look at the rest of the league, you look at the Houston Rockets as an example. First off, their roster is terrible. They made all these free agent signings, but it didn't help them. They were already in a rebuild, and then you wasted all your money on bench sitters. So, like Dylan Brooks, like really, that's what you went after Dylan Brooks.
Yeah.
So, I'm not trying to be mean, but
No, I
it's
agree.
just Dylan Brooks. He's not like anything special.
I agree.
LeBron shut him down and made it the Grizzlies get rid of him. Like, I'm sorry, you're not good.
And that's an older LeBron.
Yeah, that is an older LeBron.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, Dylan Brooks is better than us, so.
Oh yeah,
We're not denying him the ability to play in the league, but you're not good. So, but no, you look at the rest of the league. You have the Magic. Honestly, the Magic are a little bit better than we are, but that's just because typically when they draft for ready-to-go players. They don't draft for, he needs a couple years to work on his game before we make that next step.
Right.
And they already had some decent vets on that team anyways, and Cole Anthony is now a vet, and so like that team is just built to win essentially. Obviously, they need experience still to win, and a better coaching staff, and overall. No, they need experience. But yeah, we'll stop it there because I'm gonna just make some hot takes if I continue.
But I do agree that the Pistons are one of the most exciting young teams. I think that I would put them above the Houston Rockets. A lot of the national commentators would disagree. For me, I prefer to have the Detroit Pistons roster than the Houston Rockets roster. I think we got higher quality guys that are working on their game more than all those punks in Houston. That's just my opinion. The next Piston fan tweet that we're going to react to says, if the Pistons enter the season with their current roster, do you think Joe Harris will have a regular role in the team's 8 to 10 man rotation? So pretty much, is he going to be involved? Is he going to be sitting the bench? What do we think as far as Joe Harris's role on the Detroit Pistons? Reaction.
He will be in the rotation. You don't trade for a guy and have him sit the bench. That's not going to happen. I think he's good enough to be 9 or 10 in the rotation. I think he's actually good enough to be 8, even maybe 7.
Mm-hmm.
6 is pushing it. But I think he is one of those key guys because obviously you don't trade away a pick to get Joe Harris. You don't trade away a draft asset to get a guy like Joe Harris. So if you're not going to play him, is what I'm saying. So I think he's going to play, and I think he's going to get in the rotation, at least somewhere between 8 and 10. He's just one of those guys that you can't not play. Like, he has a shot. He has a high basketball IQ, makes smart decisions constantly, makes the right plays from time to time.
Mm-hmm.
His defense is there. Like, he's just one of those key guys that you want on a winning team, essentially.
Yeah. My initial reaction is Monty Williams has his job cut out for him. He's got a tough decision to make because we got guys like Isaiah Stewart, Isaiah Livers, Marvin Bagley, Alec Burks, Monte Morris that Joe Harris is competing with. And for me, it all comes down to training camp. What happens in those early stages of these guys finding their roles on the team? If you see Joe Harris right away being a leader and vocalizing in the gym and really working with these young guys, I say you put him at the 8-9 spot in the rotation. But if Isaiah Livers is making his shots, playing well, and really showing that he's trying to integrate himself with this Pistons team, then I give him the minutes. It really just depends on who's being vocal, who's communicating, who seems like they're generating chemistry with our young core. And whoever does that, I give the minutes to. I see a guy like Joe Harris, who's been a guy that's kind of hopped around teams during his career, integrating himself better with this team. So I see him 8, 9, 10 is a safe bet for him. If he's sitting the bench like a Nerlens Noel did early last season, I'd be surprised. I don't see that happening. But Monty Williams has tough decisions to make, and I wouldn't want to be him. You know, he's going to have to bring in guys like Jarrett Jack, Mark Bryan to kind of help him make those decisions, and Troy Weaver, because it's going to be tough. This next fan tweet is, it says, if Monty Williams decides there is only one rotation spot available for Wiseman and Bagley, which one wins the battle for the job? So theoretically, the backup center position, who's more likely to have that backup center, Marvin Bagley or James Wiseman?
So, you know, I was talking to you earlier on, there was one of these tweets where I'm like, dude, you're an idiot. This was the tweet.
Okay.
I'm saying this in the nicest way possible. You probably weren't thinking at the time.
There's a cog in the machine.
Yeah, you probably, it was like a late night tweet out there that's like, I'm like half asleep, so let's just send this.
Yeah.
You know, but obviously James Wiseman wins the job every single time. Like, let's be realistic here. He has more upside than Marvin Bagley does.
Yeah.
And James Wiseman is what, 23 years old still? Whereas Marvin Bagley is 26, 27. So like, obviously we're gonna go for the guy who's 23 years old, is over 7 foot, has quick reflexes, is very fast, very mobile, can block a shot any day of the week, can shoot. Like, you're gonna go for him over Marvin Bagley, who we talked about Marvin Bagley in the previous episode. Yeah, he is a good key role player to have on a team, but a contending team.
Yeah.
And if we're not contending this year, well, okay, honestly, it's just James Wiseman. I'm trying to make a case for Marvin Bagley here, but there is no case. Wiseman is going to get that battle done, finished every single time. Like the fact that let's put this into perspective and use this example. Look at last year. You had Jalen Duren and James Wiseman on the court together more often than Jalen Duren and Marvin Bagley.
Yeah.
And that's Dwayne Casey. Dwayne Casey is one of the better coaches in NBA history. And Monty is right there with him. He's not there yet with the experience, but he is there. He's a coach of the year too. So obviously with that example, James Wiseman already won the battle, and that was last year.
Yeah, I agree. I think James Wiseman, just the way Marvin Bagley, for being a 7-footer-ish, he gets up the floor fast. But James Wiseman just still beats him. I guarantee you beats him up and down the court. He is so fast for his speed, for his height, and I think in the NBA that just translates better. I think you need to have the speed, and that's what James Wiseman got. When you see him running down the court during a fast break, I get scared sometimes because I'm like, that dude is so huge to be running that fast. He looks like he should be a wide receiver in the NFL. He is just so quick, and I think with the way our offense is going to be going these next couple seasons, having guys like Jaden Ivey, Asar Thompson, so good in the fast break transition offense, James Wiseman is going to thrive with those two. And Marvin Bagley, I just don't see him being able to keep up with those two. James Wiseman, I can totally see the three of them making it down the court in a quick fast break, and it being very successful. So I agree. I think James Wiseman, personnel-wise, works better with this team. And then also, say there was a battle between Marvin Bagley and James Wiseman, I see Monty picking James Wiseman.
Yeah, I will say, when you made the comment of you'd be scared seeing James Wiseman run down the court, if James Wiseman were coming at me, I would be freakishly scared. If Marvin Bagley was running at me, I'm like, oh, when is he? Oh my goodness, when is he gonna go down and get injured?
Right.
That's essentially what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Because he gets so injured, like frequently, and it's like the littlest thing, and it's like a hairline fracture, and he's out for months, and it's like, what the heck? He did nothing to deserve that, but we love you, Marvin Bagley.
Yeah, I'm a Marvin Bagley fan, don't get me wrong. I just think James Wiseman is a couple steps ahead as far as skill level and physical traits. That's my only thing. I always wanted Marvin Bagley. I wish when he got drafted in 2018, we could have just taken him then, but it just didn't work out. The next fan tweet that we are going to react to says, what I'm looking for in Cade. 36% from the 3, less turnovers or tighter with the dribble, and then increase in free throw attempts. I like this tweet. I like it, but for me, I prefer to see him a little bit more efficient from the three-point line. I think he can do better than 36%. We're gonna see guys like Monte Morris, Alec Burks, that we haven't really got to see Cade play with, make him more efficient from the three-point line, because he doesn't need to take as many threes as he did his rookie year. Monte Morris, Alec Burks, Joe Harris are going to be taking more of that scoring load from the three-point line. So that, I think, will naturally make Cade a little bit more efficient from the three-point line. And then I agree, his rookie year, he struggled with the turnovers. But when you're a ball-dominant point guard, it's just going to happen. He was a rookie. I think he's getting a lot of reps right now, currently this summer. I think it's just going to tighten up a little bit, and he has a lot more help offensively than he did previous seasons. So I like this tweet. I think those are definitely, it's definitely not a hot take. I think it's definitely doable for him and what to expect from Cade this upcoming season.
Yeah, I agree with this tweet. I agree with you. I will say though, you're basing this tweet is essentially based off of rookie Cade. Everybody has a rookie struggles. Nobody is consistently good, even though Cade had by far one of the better seasons in Pistons history as a rookie that season, and one of the best seasons by far in NBA history as a rookie that season.
Mm-hmm.
He still had room to grow. Every single rookie in the NBA, there's not one player where I'm like, oh, he's a stud, he doesn't need to work on anything. Everybody needs to work on something. Big Wembanyama, after getting drafted, was like, yeah, there's like 3 different things that I need to work on right now.
Yeah.
So it's like, these guys know they need to work on their game. Like, they know that they're not like the best player by far in the league, hands down. They know they need to work on it. So I think, do I agree with this tweet? Yes, I do. But at the same time, Cade's gonna do that already this season. And so, and if not this exact stat-like kind of thing, but I'm saying he's gonna be better. There's no way he's not. When you look at the season he had as a rookie, like, I'm blown away. We were both blown away. Everybody was blown away. We're like, wow, this kid is legit. And so, obviously this past year, we didn't get to see Cade because he went down with the injury there.
Mm-hmm.
But now, after waiting out the whole season, but actually watching all of his teammates and what their abilities are, and watching how they transition in certain offenses and schemes and whatnot, Cade even made the comment like, hey, now that I've watched from the sideline, I can understand how everybody moves on the court from when I'm in there.
Right.
So, like, this upcoming season, yeah, he's gonna do that, but better. So, I'm not saying you're wrong on the tweet. I'm agreeing with you,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm also just saying, it's a weird comparison to have a rookie Cade versus now.
Right.
Given the fact that rookies always struggle.
Yeah, totally. The last tweet we will react to is coming up quickly, but before we move on, make sure to comment below what you think of these tweets. We would love to see your guys' reactions if you agree or disagree with us, so make sure to leave a comment below. The last tweet we are going to react to is, I'm excited to see what Ryan's reaction is to this. So, who is Killian Hayes getting traded to? Now, when rolling this around in my head, a team that I think he could work out well with, first off, don't see him getting traded soon. I think he's for sure going to have 30 games with us. After those 30 games, can we predict what's going to happen? No, but I don't think he's going to get traded this offseason. But a team I could see him thriving with and backing up a guy like Luka Doncic at the Dallas Mavericks. I think he's very Luka Doncic-esque. I think if he backs up and kind of watch and learns from a guy like Luka Doncic, who has a big personality, will make friends with Killian right away, I think it could be really good for him. Ryan, what's your initial reaction to this?
First off, I don't think Killian's getting traded. I've always said this in almost every single episode we've done thus far.
Yeah.
But if there were to be a team outside of the Dallas Mavericks, I would say the Phoenix Suns.
Oh, okay.
And that's because they don't have a backup point guard. Their roster, Matashiva, Michigan State Spartan there, pretty much blew up the entire roster. Granted, he got a lot of good players. He got Bradley Beal. He landed Kevin Durant. He's gotten in all these other guys that it's been impressive to see. But you look at their roster, it's still weak. And everybody's going like, oh, they're by far one of the best teams in the West right now. They should be in the championship. Everybody was saying that about Brooklyn, and look at where they are now.
Yeah.
And that's no discredit to Kevin Durant, but like super teams do not win. They don't. When was the last super team that won, arguably outside of the Golden State Warriors? It would have been, what, the Miami Heat? And the Miami Heat at that time, it wasn't really a super team compared to the Suns were. I mean, the Suns are now. Like, when you look at the Heat, like, it was pretty much Dwayne Wade, LeBron James, and Chris Bosh, and that was it. Whereas you look at the Suns right now, you have, what is it? I can't even think right now. But that's because that's an entire roster has changed right before our eyes.
Yeah, DeAndre Ayton, Devin Booker, Kevin Durant, Bradley Beal. You know, they got a lot of rotation guys.
When you look at their roster, the way it is, who's going to have the ball in their hands? Like, realistically, because Devin Booker is your franchise player. Are you going to give the ball to Kevin Durant or Bradley Beal in that situation? My answer is keep the ball in Booker's hands. But every other team, every other player is pretty selfish sometimes. And so when they're not going to get what they want, they're going to throw a fit. So, wait, where was it? Oh, that's right. I don't even remember where I was going with
Killian
this.
Hayes
Killian
going to
Hayes.
Phoenix.
They need a backup point guard. Their bench is weak. That he'd be the right fit there.
Yeah.
Because they just traded away Cameron Payne, which honestly was a mistake.
Yeah.
The huge mistake. That's probably the biggest loss they've had this offseason, outside of Chris Paul. And I say that, honestly, Chris Paul was a big mistake to get rid of because what you got back is pretty much just Bradley Beal. Like, I like Bradley Beal, but I don't know, I would have kept Chris Paul a little bit longer and not have blown up the team because I think they were fine. It's just Matt Sheba gave up on the entire organization, essentially. But still, I don't think Killian is going to get traded anytime soon. I don't want him to get traded anytime soon. He's still his ceiling I can't even reach, and I'm pretty tall. So I think Killian Hayes is going to be just fine. Just got to give him the opportunities that we've always needed to give him. And honestly, with Monty, I think he will get that shot because Monty is one of those coaches, one of those few slim coaches that play 10 guys consistently. He doesn't play just 8 or 9. He plays the 10th guy. He plays 12 guys sometimes, a lot of the time actually. When he has a very deep team, he's going to play every single guy. So I think Killian will get that shot this year, even with a logjam at point guard with Monte Morris and Marcus Sasser along with Cade there now. And then even at the guard position with Jaden Ivey and Alec Burks, I think he still gets that shot. So, Killian Hayes, I love you. You thought I was going to say something.
No, that was good. No, you always say, I love you. So that's like, we should get that put on a merch shirt. Killian Hayes, I love you.
Although it would look bad if he got traded.
Right. But, and for me, I guess our quick answer is, if he does get dealt, it would be a team with superstars to have around him because he might thrive a little bit better with a team full of these superstar players that he can kind of just feed the ball to. I think he would thrive in that type of situation, but the Pistons very well might be that team in a couple of years now, full of superstars. That will do it for episode number 39. We reacted to your fan tweets. And some of them were hot takes, some of them we agreed with, but make sure to leave a comment below if you liked our reactions to the tweets. And maybe give us some hot takes in the comments below because this is going to be a series we are going to continue for the next couple Wednesdays. So if you guys leave us a comment and about something we can give a reaction to, you might just be included in one of our next episodes. Make sure to like and subscribe. That will do it for episode number 39. We will see you guys in the next episode. Peace.